Hi guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to my new filming space. So if you are new here or you just have not heard me moan and complain about the traffic noise that we had in my previous filming space and also just the echo. If you don't know, I previously was filming in our gym space, which was like on a road, and so I had all kinds of issues with cars and traffic noise in general, road noise, all that kind of stuff. And although I tried to minimise how annoying that was for you guys by like editing out, stopping all the time to wait for cars to stop, filming at certain times of the day, it was a lot of work for me to make it less annoying for you, and even then it wasn't always controllable. So I know traffic noise has been an issue, but also it was a huge big room as it is our gym space, and so the echo was bad, and I know people were always telling me to put a rug down, but the size of the room was not feasible to really improve the echo. So I'm really hopeful that in this new space we are going to have a lot more peace and tranquility, although I've just realised as we've started filming that what you may hear from this space is bird tweeting. But I mean, I'd much rather hear bird tweeting than traffic noise any day. I don't know about you. But yeah, you may hear the bird tweeting because we are now filming in my bedroom, which is at the completely opposite end of our house. So yeah, traffic noise shouldn't rarely, if ever, be an issue. There's not even any. There's a little lane that goes up to the houses that are just the other side of me, but yeah, traffic noise is hopefully a thing of the past, and that will help my editing experience and your listening experience a lot. And also hopefully the sound quality will be far better in here as well, because it is a normal sized room as opposed to being a gym. So yeah, obviously this is a work in progress. At the moment the back of me looks a bit of a mess, it looks a bit disorganised, it looks a bit dark as well. I'm not sure how it's going to come across on camera, but we're having some technical teething issues, let's call them teething issues, with the light in here, and just getting this, because obviously this is actually where I get ready every day and do my makeup whenever I do my makeup, and there's a balance between it working as a makeup space for me and it working as a filming space, and I've yet to find that perfect balance. It will probably be about me putting stuff away and getting stuff back out to film and stuff like that, or just moving things around. But I usually have like a lot of photos and things like that which I've moved to film, and just, you know, personal things. I've kept this particular piece of phenomenal artwork in the back of me, which was part of my little girl's Mother's Day present, so you know, obviously that's highly valuable and cannot be moved for preservation purposes. So I thought, as our first video in this space, I would give you a little show around. Obviously this is where I store my makeup as well as where I get ready, so I thought I'd give you a little sneaky peek in my drawers, so to speak, and just let you look around. But please bear in mind, I know we're looking a bit messy and a bit dark and just a bit not perfect right now, but it is a work in progress, and hopefully it will just get better and better as I play around with things, find some solutions to some lighting issues, etc. And I hope it will be just much better for all of us than my previous space. So without further ado, let's start rummaging through some of my makeup drawers. So this is like what my filming space is like, what I see. By the way, these perfumes over yonder are waiting for a little tray, a little place, a nice little tray to sit on. At the moment they're just kind of dumped over there, but they are going to have a nice fancy resting place. So as you can see, this is my little blush organizer. It's only in there is only my like depotable, whatever, panable, who knows, but the ones that you can't take out basically. So these are the extra dimensions and the mineralized blushes from MAC, so you can't depot those. The rest are in a palette. And then here I've got my Anastasia palettes, my little liners, and again another phenomenal piece of artwork from my little boy for Mother's Day. Over here, coffee, always on tap. My kind of everyday essential brushes. And then up here is the main bulk of my lipsticks, as well as my favourite nail varnish, and then just kind of overspill of bits of brushes, etc. And these are my kind of lesser used lipsticks, so the kind of more bold colours, you know, colours I just don't reach for as much as the ones that are here. And these, the front row, which is all MAC, are actually organised by, I have my most used lipsticks here, which are MAC Down to an Art and Velvet Teddy, and then they go in order of light to dark so I can find them easily, because that's just how I roll. So going into the drawers now, this is what I like to call my everyday drawer. So in here is all the stuff that I will literally use like every single day, my kind of most used stuff, I guess, all handily at hand in here. So these are my most used foundations. What is this one doing the wrong way around? OCD moment. So I've got my Charlotte Tilbury, my Rodial, Born This Way, the Laura Mercier Lumiere, and my Dior Backstage. These are kind of my top 5 foundations for everyday purposes. In here you've got like brow and mascara, like brow and lash stuff, plus my lip scrub, which I pretty much use every day at the moment. So that's just kind of mascaras and brow stuff. In here we've got my kind of everyday concealers, apart from this one. It's just in there waiting for me to brave using it again. So yeah, these are kind of my most used concealers, along with my only setting powder that I touch. In here we've got my kind of potted like cream eyeshadows. So I've got my Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow, and then the rest of MAC paint pots with some brow pomades at the back. And then we've got kind of a mixture then in these 2 drawers, which is basically like my everyday blushes, bronzers and highlights, and then there's a couple of little samples I've got to try in there. So we've got my Clinique Cheek Pop, my Laura Mercier Peach Blush, Hourglass Stick, Charlotte Tilbury powder and blush. That's my MAC setting powder that I use to set my eyeshadow base, the mini little MAC Kabuki palette, and then I've got my Milk cheek and lipstick, my Opal highlight, Marc Jacobs bronzer, and then Natasha Denona contour powder and Super Glow in there. That's kind of my go-to drawer of everyday most used makeup. This is my foundation drawer. So I also have in here a few like primers, setting sprays, things like that. So at the moment these are kind of at the bottom. I keep like my current shade foundation. So these are kind of the foundations that are my current shade, unless they have a twin. So if I have it in my summer and winter shade, I tend to keep them together because, you know, we all love family. But this will just show you, by the way, this is like the biggest demonstration to how ridiculous my skin is, for those of you who get confused by that. This is like my winter shade and my summer shade. I mean, look at the difference. What a joke. Yeah, and then towards the back I tend to keep like my summer ones, because we are just coming out of winter, so soon, any day, we'll be swapping these all around and I'll switch over. These are kind of my more summer shades at the back, current shades down here. So soon this will get swapped the other way around. I'll put my lighter shades at the back because I won't be able to use them for a few months, and my darker shades at the front. So next drawer down, this is kind of like compacts. Got like my MAC powders, like mini palettes in here, all kind of bronzers, blushes, highlights, little tools are in there. Yeah, that's kind of what that drawer is all about. Next drawer, I've got my liquid lipsticks from Huda, my Daniel Sandler liquid blushes, other remaining concealers that I don't use as regularly, lips that are either glosses or sort of liquid but not matte, so like this crushed liquid lip from Bobbi Brown is kind of, you know, they're either glosses or liquids that don't dry down generally is what is in here. In here is kind of like perfume samples just at hand, and then in here is my kind of other drawer, like tubey type thing. So we've got like my Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, liquid glow from Anastasia. It's mainly contour products, I guess, in here, and then this Fenty liquid lip, which really annoyingly just doesn't store. It doesn't play well with friends because of the weird shape, so it can't go, it's too high you know, to go with its friends, so it just has to live in there by itself. And then in here we've got liquid shadows, all my like Stila liquid, what are they called? What are you called? Shimmer and glows, glitter and glows, and then my Urban Decay heavy metal liners, all that kind of stuff all goes in there. This is just rubbish basically. What's in here? So this is my drugstore drawer, and I also keep in here like things like I don't know whether to call them dummies or what do you call them, basically empties that I might want to talk about in a future video. So all of these like mascaras I've used up, but I may want to, you know, refer back to them in videos, so I keep them just so that I can show you what they look like rather than using a photo. So this is all my drugstore makeup in one drawer, just so I know where it all is. Oh, and I've also got this little bundle of samples that I use. This is like my MAC primer that I use in reviews and stuff, so it's just really anything that kind of doesn't work in any of the other drawers will also get bunged in here. And this, which everyone knows is probably my worst purchase of all time, and I just can't throw it out because it's so expensive, but it's never going to go on my face, so there you have it. And then in this one, this bottom drawer on this side is all like hair stuff and skincare, like backups, things that I've got another one of, and it's waiting to come into its turn, if you like. So yeah, it's all my kind of hair stuff and my like sprays, like my backup, got my backup Fix Plus, and yeah, hair bands, all that kind of stuff, my travel beauty blender thing, body stuff as well, got some moisturiser and things like that, and then skincare over here, which is like you know, I've got something else I want to use up, and then that's my next lot of skincare basically, all my backups. And then in here is all things like samples and empties. I've got like bags full of samples of things that I just really never get around to trying, but I'm trying to actually use samples up a lot more lately. So yeah, samples and then empties that I may want to talk about at some point. And then we have these two drawers actually in my desk which keep my palettes. So on this side I've kind of got my Huda palettes, my Pat McGrath, and then this is my sort of self-made palette of singles. And on the other side we've got all the kind of smaller palettes. So these are like my self-made blush palettes from MAC. So I've got this depotted one from MAC of all my MAC blushes, and then a second one under there, all my Dior palettes, my little sort of blush palettes, my Sigma, all my sort of like minier palettes like the Dior, the Sigma, Jouer blush palette, my Nars Sisters, my Charlotte Tilbury palette, all my sort of mini palettes and like depotted palettes kind of all hang out in here. So there you have it. So as I said, please remember this is very much a work in progress. We are not there yet. There's definitely some jiggling around and definitely some lighting that needs to be resolved, but I wanted to just show you what we were working with currently, and yeah, my new space. So I really hope that you are going to enjoy being here in this much more peaceful, tranquil space with me, and I hope to see you all in a future video. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.